Good evening, everyone. Hope all is well. Hope everything's all right. Gonna wait for everybody to get in before we get started. So, all right. So looks like everybody's pretty much in. All right. So good evening. Hope all is well. Hope everything's going all right. My name is Mr. Tucker. I will be your instructor for these 16 weeks. So looks like if you didn't get all of my emails or all of my information, at least you got this one because you got the Zoom information today. Not the Zoom information today, but you got the Zoom information so you can log in today. Um, so just in case you didn't get all of my stuff, where did it go? There we go. Just want to show you. Whenever I email you guys, I will always archive your emails in Canvas announcements. So if you go to Canvas, click on announcements, any email I send you will be here, even if it's a simple email of hi. I wouldn't just say hi, of course, but I'm just saying if it's anything simple, it will always be here, anything I've sent. So if you gone a couple weeks or something, haven't seen an email from me, felt like you might have missed something, you can always go here. You know, if you comb through your emails, didn't see anything, you can always go here to confirm whether I sent you an email or not. So the first one just, greeting you guys, letting you know how the course would be ran, how everything is set up. This class, difference between online versus virtual. We're learning virtually, not necessarily considered an online class. Difference between the two, if you're learning online, then the instructor could send you videos, not necessarily have to meet with you, during class period, can send you the lectures that are pre-recorded or things like that. You can learn on your own, or you'll be expected to learn on your own. But learning virtually means that it is the same exact experience that you would get in a face-to-face class, except you're in your room and I'm in my room. In other words, we're going to meet during our regularly scheduled class times. I'm going to have my board up. You'll see my board. I'm going to write on it. You'll see me writing on it. You hear me live. You'll be able to ask questions and everything just like you would in a regular class setting. It's just that, like I said, you're in your room and I'm in my room. So that's what we'll be doing during this semester. You already got the Zoom information. So let's look at these two docs as far as Math Lab is concerned. Also, I sent that new course ID, sent it a little bit, a couple hours ago, just making sure that everybody saw that because there was a miscommunication on the book and the edition and everything like that. So this is the new code, new course ID, and that one should work fine according to what's going on in Barnes and Nobles and my math lab. So that should connect well for you. And then for those who have purchased it through Pearson itself and need a refund, then that's the link right there for you. If you have any other issues, make sure you email me so I can make sure you are straight moving forward. Okay, so if you haven't registered, this first email dealing with my math lab, I'll talk about that process. You go to mymathlab.com and we're going to go to it in a second, but I just want to walk through what the actual email sent. So we'll go to mymathlab.com, click on register now. Once again, this is not your code. I just showed you your code, but I just pulled up, the generic message that I have. Type in your course ID. Then from there, you'll have one of three options after you put in your information. You either input the access code, which you would have purchased from some outside source, whether it be Barnes and Noble, Amazon, a friend, wherever you got the code from. the access code from. That's when you would type in that code. If you want to go ahead and purchase access through My Math Lab itself, you can do that. In that case, they wouldn't give you an access code, they would just give you the access. And then if you're not ready to purchase it yet, you can type in click on a 14-day free pass, which it'll give you full access for 14 days. But it will not, let's say it like this. If you do not have the money or not ready to purchase after the 14 days are up, you will get locked out. Now you will not lose progress and you will not lose any of your submissions. I will still have access to what you've done. Is that you will not until you go ahead and pay for the access. All right. So any questions on that registration? Anything I said? Everybody good? All right, all right. Wrong button.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
So this is called it's Math Lab. Is it My Math Lab?
It used to be My Math Lab, but now it's just Math Lab. But the website My Math Lab still holds. So you can type in mymathlab.com to get to the actual website.
Okay, so before this, I believe I think it's an actual book.
You said, is there an actual book?
Yes, because I was just trying to see, because I know you said if you go through this Pearson and get it, so we don't need the book, because I got a book for this course.
Mm-hmm. You can have the book if you like, but you don't necessarily have to purchase the book. There's an e-text that come along with it, which is the exact book. It's just in the electronic form. So if you want the hard copy, and some people like to have the hard copy with them, then that's fine. But you don't. I was just telling people you didn't necessarily have to purchase the hard copy of the book.
Okay. So if I have the hard copy, do I still need to make this account and stuff on this online thing, the registration?
Yes, that's what we're about to get into now. Why Math Lab is important. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Not a problem. So yeah. So going. That's like I said, that's a nice segue into this document right here. The way we'll be using My Math Lab and why Math Lab is important. So you cannot pass the course without access to Math Lab. That's because all of your assignments, your tests, whatever we have is going to be generated through Math Lab. So when you do your homework, you'll see, when I go click on it, all of your homework will be up there. When I shoot you a test that's unproctored, you'll be able to do that, but it will be done through Math Lab. And even proctored tests, a final exam will be generated through Math Lab. So you most definitely have to purchase access to the Math Lab. It also solidifies your activity and your participation, which means your attendance. So every lecture will be recorded. And what I would do is convert it to YouTube, create a link, and then send that to you at the end of the week of both lectures or whatever lectures we had during that week. So it's possible for you to miss class, but then go back and review the lecture. Well, to me, that's the same thing as attending class, because all you did was, you sat through the lecture, but I would never know it if you watched it through Zoom. So the way you will solidify your attendance, even though I will look at Zoom for attendance, but it's possible for me to miss a name, especially if you come in after I started talking, is go into Math Lab and do some work, even if it's nothing more than just going in there. Let's say you missed both classes that week. If you go in there, go into your homework and hit save and come out, if nothing else, that gives you a timestamp on your activity and that solidifies your attendance. So you most definitely want to make sure you are active in My Math Lab, and that puts a timestamp on your participation and your attendance. So that's another way we'll be using Math Lab. Also, you have unlimited amount of tries to do your homework. So when it comes to your homework, the way I'll score it, 75 to 84.9 is a 90% in my grade book. And then 85 to 100 would be 100%, or in other words, full credit. So notice I didn't mention anything less than 75, because you get an unlimited amount of tries, but there's no such thing as unlimited amount of problems. So truth be told, you can easily keep clicking on a problem until it come back around to the problem that you just had, if you really want to, finesse the system. So we want to look for at least getting 75 on your homework. And like I said, to get full credit, full 100%, shoot for that 85. Okay, so your test reviews will be set up for each test except for the first one. So the first test is basically definitions based. We'll talk more about that in a second, but it's just a definition. And all you do is either click the right definition or put in the word that fits that sentence. So Not many different ways you can get that right or wrong. So I didn't really do a test review for that one, but for the ones going forward after that, test 2 on, there will be a test review for each one of those. And that's just to help you streamline your studies and know what you're going to have to worry about calculating and stuff like that. So if you do the test review, if you get an 85 or better on it, I will add 5 points to the test, that respective test. Once again, they aren't mandatory. If you don't do it, I'm not going to look at you sideways. But I would suggest that you at least take a look at it, so you can know what's going to be on the test. You have an idea what's going to be on the test. So for your tests that are not proctored, in other words, I'm not watching you, you're not doing it in a class setting, I would just post it and you go do it on your own time. You will get 2 attempts to get the best grade possible. Any proctor test, I will, we'll talk about that. Like your final exam will be a proctor test, where we will go through the Zoom setting, everybody enable the cameras. I see you, you see me, and you take that time doing that according class time. But we'll talk about that when we get there. So, any questions on anything that I've posted up here so far? Talked about math lab. All right. All right, so you do mymathlab.com. That'll take you here. You will click on register as a student. Some of you have already done this, but for those who haven't done it yet, just hit OK. Then you will type in that new ID that I just sent you guys. That's what 96011. And here you go. That's the shell. Then from there, if you already have a Pearson account, you can go ahead and type in your information. If not, hit create an account. And then from there, you put in your information. Once you put in your information, then you'll get those 3 options. Remember, the first one was to type in your access code if you've already purchased it. Second one would be to go ahead and purchase access. And then the third one, see these blue letters like this, it will be a little blue sentence down here when they ask you if you want to use a 14-day free pass. So that's how you would register for the course.
I have a question. What if we already have access to the other course ID? Because Pearson fixed my ID by giving me a free code to replace the Barnes and Noble one.
Now, go ahead and try to register with it and see what happens, and shoot me an email if you can't get in with full access.
I have it to the old one, not to the new one that you just put up.
Right.
So
right.
The access code is only good for, I think, one course.
Right. So let me ask you this. Now, you said that you had an old one and then they gave you another one. So
correct. They deactivated the Barnes
they deactivated. One. Okay. So try registering for it just to let me know what happens. See if the old one works. If it doesn't, then just shoot me an email and I will shoot it to the rep, and then we'll get you straight. But you most definitely don't have to buy nothing new or anything. It's just us going through and just making sure your account has been transferred.
Yeah, because I have the old course one. That's not the 96011. It's the other one. I'm already in that one currently.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was if that worked or not, if I had to be in the 96011 or not.
Well, yeah, we want to go ahead and convert everybody over. Now, if you've done some work, let me know in the email as well, and then I can convert grades and stuff over as well. But yeah, we want to go ahead and convert everybody to the same one, just because I just don't want to mess with people, the upper ups. So I was just like, all right, because I did have the option of staying with the shell, but I just didn't want any mess. You know what I mean? So yeah.
No, that's good. I'm going to talk to Pearson tonight and see if they can just give me since I already have the access code to the old one, if they'll give me a different access code to the new one.
Okay.
Because of the whole mix up thing.
Right. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, just let me know what happens. And if they can't, if for some reason they give you some flack, just let me know. Then like I said, I'll contact the rep and get her on that.
I have a question. So I brought my book and the access code because I bought the kit. And they were saying that the access code didn't match the book. So they gave me a free access code at Barnes and Noble. Not the same one of the ones that I tore open to get the code, but I re-registered with the code that you sent today that that Tucker 911, whatever it was. Can I use the unopened code for the new shell that you created, or do I just need a whole different access code?
Now, let me ask you this. You say you already registered with an access code with this new one?
So no, so the initial shell that you created, you called it a shell, the initial shell that you created, I tried to use that access code that came with the book that was published in 2017.
Right.
But that access code would not go through. And when I talked to Pearson, they said that it was the wrong code with the wrong book. They put the wrong code with the kit together at Barnes and Noble. So yesterday when I went to try to return it, the lady just gave me a whole new access code, and I haven't even opened it or tried it with the new shell you created. So should I try that with the new shell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now let me ask you, did they take back the old one?
No, they gave me the old one and the new one.
So you got two of them.
I got two of them.
So now hold on now. Now the one you already opened one though, right?
Yeah, and the one that I opened, see, I think I'm a bit remedial because the one that I opened, you're supposed to scratch it, right? But then I'm like, no, you're supposed to tear it off. So then I tore it off, and then I had to paste it back together, kind of. So I got the code, but then when I put it in, Professor, I put it in, it didn't fit. And so when I gave him the code at Pearson, that's when he told me it was the wrong one for the wrong book. So they gave me the same Pearson code, a new one, like the first one they gave me, but I haven't opened it up yet because I didn't.
Yeah. So try to use the old one first.
Okay.
On this shit, on this new one, 96011. Try using the old one first. It should be 16 digits. I know you say ripped instead of scratching and stuff. So make sure it's all 16
It's ridiculous,
digits.
yeah.
So use the old one first. And then before you open it, because you may have some money right there. Like if you haven't opened it, that's like something you can sell.
Well, listen to this. So the piece that I ripped off, my son, I told him to bring me the code because like I was doing things while on the phone with him, and my son lost the piece that I had to paste back. So I don't even know if I have the old access code. Right. So I was tight. I was like, what are you doing? But I don't know. We'll see. I just want to know if I can use. I just want to know if I can use that particular one because the book that he said I was supposed to have has that little yellow circle on it, and that is what the access code has on it. But the book that I got when I went to the Barnes and Noble, she said I got the right book, that you posted the right book, but they gave the wrong access code. So I don't know.
Yeah. So try it on this code. This course ID, like I said, 96011. That one's supposed to work. That's the one we're gonna roll with now. And if it doesn't work, you can let me know, and then I can go from there and contact somebody.
Now I also noticed on the shells the dates are different. Does that signify anything? One says August 18th to like the 24th of December, and then one says the 23rd to like the 26th of December. Does that matter, those dates?
Nah. Our class doesn't end. That's just me throwing some dates out there to make sure I cover. Our class ends on the 17th, December 17th. So I was just throwing a cushion date out there so that when I go to do final grades, I still have enough time before the class close out and stuff like that. So that's on me. Yep.
All right, thank you.
Not a problem. All right, anybody else before we go into my math lab? The old one.
Well, it'll since we have the old one, will it affect us that we have the old and the new? We have to drop the other one, or is it just fine just to go into the one you gave us?
Well, the old one is eventually, I'm trying to give everybody a chance to do whatever, get into the new one. Eventually, the old one will not be in existence as far as the old shell. I'm going to get rid of that, and all you're going to see is the new shell.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right. Anything else before we get into my lab? I'm going to make sure everybody's comfortable with it, everybody's straight. All right. Oh, hitting the wrong button. All right, here we go. So 155. All right, so here, I haven't put the syllabus in here yet. I just created this shell today. Just got things straight today, so I'll get a syllabus in here. But your assignments, These are all your assignments, all the way up to the whole semester, from beginning to end. Let me see, I put in due dates up here. I think I'm gonna leave everything open for you guys. Okay, so for this class, normally what I do is I leave, see how we had that due date of 12/17. That's our final class date. Normally I just leave it all open. That just leaves room for life to happen, and you don't have to ask me for any type of extension or anything like that. Just know you don't want to wait till December 1st to start working. I mean, I see a few people shaking their head. Yeah, you don't want to professionally procrastinate all the way to December to get this work in. So you want to be, if you want to know what and how do you know if you're on task, you should be moving along as I move along with the lectures. So you want to be progressively doing this work, throughout the week. And you don't want to, like I said, wait until the due date to start doing some work. And none of this stuff is made to be just done all in one weekend. So you don't want to be like, we're lecturing in chapter 5 and you're still in chapter 2. So don't worry about it, Mr. Tucker. I got this weekend. I'm telling you, I had this one person that they said, don't worry about it, Mr. Tucker. I got this weekend off. I sent the kids away to mother's house and all this stuff. And then the next come Monday, everything that could have went wrong. You know what I mean? So you don't want to put yourself in that position. You always want to make sure you put yourself in position to be able to walk away if you want to, take a break and all the stuff like that. So progressively do this work as we progress throughout the course. So chapter 1 and chapter 2 is your main focus at this moment. So I don't do a full lecture on chapter 1 or chapter 2. Reason being is because they're just definitions and then some graphs, circle graphs, bar graphs, things like that. I'm going to talk about a few things that people have had questions about out of chapter 2. But the main thing that you guys will have in these chapters, and I'm about to show you. So let's look at the first one. That's only 3 questions in this one. Okay, but yeah, so like this first assignment only has 3 questions. Like some have 10, some have 12, just depends on that section. But you see how it says data are more than just numbers because data have. So it's just definitions. You're just filling in the blank. Let me pull another one up. All right, so same thing here. This is out of chapter 2. Once again, these are definitions and your first assignment. And we're going to talk about in a second. Chapter 1 and chapter 2 is definitions, and which should be an easy 100 for you. Wherein I'm going to pull those up in a second, but you'll see that everything is in order. It's not made to be a treasure hunt or scavenger hunt. I didn't put one on page 5 and then the other one on page 1, then the next one on page 2, and I didn't do it like that. It's just all definitions in order. They're bolded, and you should be easily able to find them. So those definitions are here. All right, so right here, see we have definitions 1 and definitions 2. So got a few definitions.
I have a question.
Yep.
When I was trying to start these, how do you you want us to write on this specific slide right here? Or you want us to write them separately and then turn them in that way?
No, that's what I was going to get to. You just do it whatever way you like. If you want to type them out, you can. Or if you want to write them in a notebook, you can, and then take a picture or scan it, whatever way you want to do it, and then just send it to me in an email. Yep. Try not to make this stuff hard, man. So there's no real format or anything like that. If you want to, like I said, cut and paste or just type it up in Word, that's fine. Or if you want to write them on a piece of paper, that's fine as well. So if you don't have a physical hard copy of these, you can go right here to the e-text or chapter contents. Either one will take you to the same place. So if we're looking at chapter 1, hit chapter 1, 1, hit e-text. Waiting for my stuff to come up.
Said that it was mandatory to do the definitions or just optional for extra points?
No, definitions is your first assignment. Yep. The reason being is because statistics has its own language. And so in order to familiarize you guys with the terminology, that's why these definitions are, are necessary. So yeah, that is one of your assignments. So you can see the first definition is right here, statistics. If you go to the next page, then you have variation, data. And I see nothing is up here. If I'm not mistaken, the next one should be variables. So now if I were to go back to my math lab, so you see statistics, variation, data, variables. So they're all in order. And like I said, it wasn't made to be a hard assignment, but just to familiarize you guys with the terms. Because if I were to do a lecture, that's what it would be. But it would be me writing it and then you copying it, me falling asleep while writing and you copying while falling asleep as well. So to eliminate that process, at least this way, you could do it, cut on TV, relax, and just do what you do, and then we'll get rolling, really rolling when it comes to chapter 3. So I'm gonna go into a chapter 3's assignment. So you can see, how my math lab really works when it's not just definitions, but any questions on what we're talking about with these definitions. Chapter 1, chapter 2, definitions. Once again, do it on your own time. As soon as you turn it in, as soon as you shoot it to me in an email, I will put your grade in my math lab. I have to manually do it once you send it to me. So there's not going to be immediate feedback. As soon as you shoot it to me, then I'll get that in there. But normally with your assignments, once you hit submit, you get that answer, get your score. This will be something I have to manually put into my math lab. Somebody was unmuted? Somebody unmuted?
Yeah, I have a question. Sorry, I could not get my laptop to work, so I missed like 20 minutes of the first everything you just said. But as far as the definitions and submitting them, do we have to print them out and write them in, or is there, because I don't see a way to click in here and type?
No, you can do them whatever way you like. Some people like to type them up, so that's what they do. I had people to write them in a notebook and they took a picture of it, scanned it, or whatever way they want to do it. It's not that big a deal. No format is really that big a deal. As long as you get them to me and I can read it, then are you good to go?
Okay, and just email it to you is fine? Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Not a problem. All right, anybody else with these definitions? So we only meet once a week. Oh, somebody unmuted?
It's I had a question. Where do you want us to send this to?
Okay.
Like, my lab or Canvas or
vtucker@tcc.edu.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Now, if you want to send it through Canvas, that'll get to me to that same email as well. So either way, it's fine. As long as I get it. Now, what's going to happen if you guys shoot it to me and you don't get a response that says something like "got it, thanks" or something like that? That means I didn't get it. So I'm going to respond and let you guys know that I did receive it. So make sure you get that response. And always, if ever you have a question about if I got something, always feel free to say, "Hey, Mr. Tucker, just check it in. Sent my definitions a couple days ago. Didn't know if you got it." So always feel free to check back in with me. I have no problems with that. No problems with that. All right. So we meet once a week. I guess by next Friday, not this one, but next Friday, you guys get those definitions into me. By next Friday, that date should be the 3rd, September 3rd. So if you can get those to me by September 3rd, we should be good to go. All right. So did I hear somebody else unmute? All right, cool. So let's go into another assignment so I can show you your help tools. Oh, that was a good one. Okay, well, this is fine as well. Okay, so now they did switch the additions on me. So if you go in here into your homeworks, and if by some chance, I believe I got everything straight over, if by some chance I missed a concept or something like that, just let me know. We'll talk about it, or we'll just go over the problem that you have. Anytime you have questions on a question on anything, always feel free to ask, because I do want to make sure you guys are straight on anything that you do see in math lab.
A question.
Yeah.
Does Barnes and Noble have the third edition, or they just have only the second edition?
I believe they have the second. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure, because in the summer I taught this class and I did it out of the third edition and I didn't have any issues. Now, for some reason, I come into the fall, they only got the second edition. I'm like, we didn't have this problem just in the summer. So I'm not really sure, to be honest. I just know that
they gave me the access code with the second edition. I haven't opened the book. I only opened the access code.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, well, this new shell that I gave you is based on the second edition. Yeah, so if it, you should be able to use it for this one and be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. All right, so this is how math lab work. I'm gonna plug this in here. You get to check your answer. They try to give you a hint. Check it again. Try to give you a hint, and so they give you 3 chances for something that calls for calculation to get the answer correct. Notice it says final check right here. Hit that. Answer was incorrect, and you see I got it wrong, and then they give you the right answer. So this one is a multi-problem, multi-points. And see, notice how that one was like a definition problem. They only gave you one chance to get it right. It said final check. So I'm gonna do this. How many problems in this? A and B. Okay, good. I want to show you this. All right, so once you're done with the problem, you can either click similar question to do it again, or next question. So the similar question option is how you get unlimited amount of tries. So no matter how many times you get it wrong, you can always hit similar question. If you don't do it at that time, similar question option will be down here in the right corner. If you look at all of your problems, notice how this has a green check / red X. That's because I got some of them right, some of it wrong. If it was all wrong, it would just have red X. If it was all right, it would just be a green check. Once you get this all right, it would turn fully into a green check, and it'd be like you never got it incorrect. So you can go back and do as many times as you like. If you have a problem with this problem that you have right here, you can do help me solve this. Most people don't do that because that will walk you through this problem and then reset the problem. So you only do that if you're really done with the problem that you're dealing with and you really, you just finished with it. But if you still want to work on the problem that you have, but you need some help, view an example gives you a problem that's very similar to the one that you're dealing with. And you get to walk through step by step of a problem that's very similar to it. And then you can close it out and then work on the problem that you just finished, that you've been working on. You can also print this out as well. Some people like to do that. Other help tools, depending on the complexity of the problem, there would be, sometimes there's an extra video right here that you can click on, a video link, and that would be like a Pearson instructor that, talking about that concept. StatCrunch is Pearson's version of Excel. It's not mandatory that you know how to use it, but if you do want to use it, it's not that hard to, grab hold of, and they have, tools and instructions to help you learn that. Tech help, that's like customer service. So that if you're having issues, ask my instructor, that's shooting an email to me about the problem that you have. You can always use that. If by some chance I do not get it, I have had people in the past that said they sent me something through Pearson and I never got it. Now it's possible they did something wrong. I don't know. And it's possible that the 2 technologies didn't interface correctly. That's possible as well. But normally I do get them and, I'll respond accordingly. And then if you want to, you could print this out as well. All right. Questions on Math Lab, any of the help tools? Any problems?
Are we going to be using Excel in this class?
No, it would not be mandatory. You can if you want. And like if you wanted to use Excel to find standard deviation and stuff like that, you can, but it won't be mandatory because there will be other options for you. That probably will be simpler for you to use.
Thank you.
All right, sounds like someone is not a fan. All right, any other questions? I think that is it as far as intro. I'm going to talk about a few things. Real lecture, serious lecture doesn't, I won't say serious because I won't try to scare anybody, but real lecture doesn't really happen until chapter 3. So right now we're looking at chapter 1, chapter 2 stuff. Like I said, I'm going to talk about a few things in chapter 2. Your assignment really, because remember, we only meet once a week. So your assignment really for you guys is to knock out these definitions, chapter 1, chapter 2, and to knock out chapter 1, chapter 2's content. Before, within the next day or so, I will put up chapter 1, chapter 2's test. That would be something that you can do on your own. Really, it will be a repeating, like chapter 1 and chapter 2 really is a lot of repeated definitions. You're going to see the definitions in your writing. Then you're going to see those definitions in my math lab assignments. Then you're going to see them in the text, because like how many different ways can a computer write the definition? You know what I mean? So hopefully, those are some easy grades for you guys to have a secure foundation moving forward, to encourage you. You have your solid A before you jump into more content. So everybody good before we look at a few notes?
Are we able to work ahead?
Yes. Yeah,
Awesome.
I would encourage it. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. Once I get everything populated, you'll see everything, test reviews, tests, all that stuff. So yep, and you'll be able to move as far ahead as you like. Yep.
Awesome.
All right, so let's go ahead and look at a few notes. It's not that much, but I want to make sure, talk about a little something before we close out today. That is 155. Yeah. Oh, just in case you didn't have my email, it's vtucker@tcc.edu. And this stuff doesn't have anything to do with you guys. Of course, it's not. So we're looking at September 3rd for chapter 1 and 2's definitions. All right. So we're just throwing that out there. Should be a Friday. And of course, that has nothing to do with us. All right, so. All right, so distribution of data. When we're looking at our shapes, let me erase this. The first shape, when you're talking about the distribution of your data, is the bell-shaped curve. We do want to remember this one because this is the one that's going to keep appearing. And we're going to lean on the shape as we progress throughout the course. It's your bell-shaped curve. It's symmetric about the mean. So that means that your mean is in the middle, 50% of your data is to the right of the mean, 50% of your data is to the left of your mean. And notice that the bulk of your data is in the middle where the mean is. And then as you move away from the mean, less and less of your data will be. That's what this all represents. Less and less of your data will be to the right and to the left as you move away from the mean. And so this is called your normal distribution. Your normal distribution. Like I said, if you remember this one, hold on to this one for sure, because we are going to be using that as we progress forward. It'll come back up. All right. Uniform distribution. Somebody saying something?
I was just saying, I thought you were gonna let the screen go.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to.
But
Sorry.
you got the title, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay.
got the title. I'm just trying to like shorthand this real quick.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Oh, yeah, and I'm glad you said that. So don't forget, guys, I can't see everybody because most people don't have their cameras enabled, which is fine. You don't have to. I know some people want, make sure the stuff is right here, did, and all that. Just remember that if I don't see you writing, if I can't see you, I can't see if you're still writing. So if I do scroll up, just let me know, just like she did. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I don't want to leave anybody behind. Take your time, there's no rush. I think I got y'all till about 10 or 11 o'clock. Don't know what time I got. 9, right? So we got plenty of time. So yeah, just let me know.
Cut that
man.
out, cut that out.
So yeah, most definitely just let me know and I'll slow up. It's not a big deal. So the second distribution is uniform distribution, look more like a block because it's the same level of distribution as far as your, excuse me, as far as your data is concerned. All right. Let me write that down. All right, everybody finished with the first one, scrolling up. So now the next two is the real reason why I bring up these shapes, just because of how it sounds and what it really means. So the first one, well, I don't say the first one, the third one is being skewed left. Your data means being skewed left. To me, when I hear skewed left, to me, I'm thinking like my data is pushed or skewed to the left. But in actuality, it's the opposite. It means that the tail is to the left and your data is actually pushed to the right. So you need to see how the bulk of your data is here to the right. And so, like I said, the tail of your data is to the left. So that's what it means for your data to be skewed left. So the least amount of your data would be to the left. All right. Scrolling up here. And then for it to be skewed right is the opposite. That means the tail of your data is to the right. And so that means the bulk of your data is actually to the left.
Quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are these recorded?
The lecture?
Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Are you going to be posting them somewhere?
Yes. What I'm going to do is after well, hold on, no, I only have you guys one day. Yeah, so within the next day or so, I will convert it to a YouTube link and then shoot that to you guys.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep, not a problem. All right. Everybody good? Scroll up one. And so those are your four main data distribution types: normal distribution, uniform distribution, being skewed left. Remember, the tail is to the left, and then being skewed right, the tail is to the right. So I know people have had questions about those last two, especially. So I just wanted to point that out. Now, when it comes to your definitions, a lot of them are straightforward, and then some of them may not be so much. So if you have a question or anything, make sure you bring them to class, and we'll talk about it. We have plenty of time. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's 6:15 to 9 o'clock, so I really don't intend on talking all the way to 9 o'clock. I don't know if that disappoints anyone, but I have no intentions of talking all the way to 9 o'clock. That doesn't mean we're not going to cover all the material that we need to cover either, but we're going to do what we do. And then after we cover pretty much everything we need to cover, I'm going to let you know that's it. So I'm not going to just hold y'all here. I don't believe in holding anybody hostage. So after that, if anybody want to stay back and ask questions, or if you want to stay back and listen to questions, you have that freedom. I'm not going to kick anybody out. You know, if you want to stay till 9 and talk about stuff, hopefully nobody want to talk till 9 if we stopped at 7. But if you want to do it, then it is what it is, right? That's what we're here for. But I do want to make sure you are comfortable to ask whatever questions you want to ask on, class periods, class time. Don't forget also, if you don't want to wait all the way till the next week, feel free to shoot me an email and we can set up a time to meet outside of class. And or if you just have a question that I can answer through email, that opportunity is afforded to you as well. So you most definitely don't have to wait until class time, especially since I only see you once a week. But since I have you almost 3 hours, just know I'm not going to talk that whole time. So there will be class time to talk during that class period as well. All right. So this
I
is the
have a
next
question
one.
for the
Yes.
proctor exam. Is it gonna be that 3-hour time frame to take like the test is 3 hours?
No, because it'll more so be like an hour and a half, because that would be the normal class period time that you would need. I wouldn't set up a test that you would need 3 hours for. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Even your final exam is not even set up to be 3 hours. So I wouldn't do that to you. So hopefully you wouldn't need the whole 3 hours. I would think at the most you may need is 2, but a regular class period would be an hour and a half. So I'll probably drop an hour 45 minutes on the timer or something like that. But for the final exam, it would be a 2-hour block. That's normally your final exam. time block. For those who have accommodation sheets and stuff, then I would have to, set up stuff with them a little differently. But for the final exam, it will be a 2-hour block. And then normally your regular test would be an hour and a half.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, not a problem. Okay, so this next one is Stimlee Plot. People have had questions about this in the past. Your leaf is the rightmost digit of your data value, and the stem would be all of the values that precede that rightmost digit. So if I have the number 53, 3 is going to be the leaf, that's the rightmost digit, and then the 5 will be the stem, that's what precedes the 3. If I have 127, the leaf would be 7, and then 12 would be the stem. Okay, everything that comes before that 7 would be considered your stem. All right.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Never. All right. So so when it comes to your numbers, the leaf is going to be the farthest digit to the right. So if I have, excuse me, 1,234, the 4 is the leaf. And then the 123 is your stem. That's everything that comes before the 4. So I don't know if you were saying anything because you were muted. Were you good?
I said, okay.
Okay. All right. I guess I could have left that right there. All right. So here goes a data set. And we're going to turn this into a Stimlee plot graph. But we have 41, 50, 56, 71, 72, 72, 75, 80, 80, 82, 83, 84, 88, 88, 89, 91, 92, 93, 100, 101, 101, and 112. Give you a chance to write that down. All right, so you see in the green, our minimum value, our lowest value is 41. Largest value or maximum value is 112. So this data set goes from the 40s to the 110s. Right. Let's scroll up, everybody still copying the data set. Oh, somebody throwing out the picture, camera. All right, let me erase this though, so I want to walk through it. I want to erase, there we go. All right, so like I said, data set goes from the 40s to the 110s. So that's how I set up my stems over here. Notice it goes from 4, which represents 40s, then 110 represents, is represented by that 11. And so now every digit that I put over here as a leaf should be represented in your data set. So when I go to 40, I have 41, so I put a 1 right here. 50, and then 56. All right. Now notice we don't have any 60s. What I do not do is put a 0 here because that would represent the number 60. I would just have to leave that blank. And then 71.
I'm sorry. Why did you put the 06? I know you said something about 56. You just put the 0.
Yeah, because we have 50 and number 50 and the number 56. So we do 0 for 50 and then 6 for 56.
Okay.
I have a question. So did you put, I see how it goes in, I guess the word is sequential, right? 4, 5, 6. Is that the right word? Or is that?
You talking about this right here?
Yeah, but there's no 60. So did you put the 6 in there just to go in that order because you went from 4 to 11?
Exactly.
Okay.
So you write each one of them in order.
Because I'm like, there's no 60s up there, but it makes sense. It makes sense now.
Yeah. So that's going to represent when we look at it, and then let's say if you were to look at it as a bar graph, that would be indication to the person that looks at it that didn't get the data set. They will know there were no 60s there, and it will
Okay.
stand out.
Oh,
Yeah, it will stand out versus
okay.
if you skip it, somebody may miss the fact that there were no 60s there. You know what I mean? It's like, so that's
Right.
information. Yep.
So where you have the 70s, it would be 1 comma 2 comma 5 comma, then you would go to the 80s for the leaf.
Yeah. So normally you don't put commas when you're dealing with it. You just write the number itself.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you would go 2, 2. Wait, hold up.
Yep. So we have
So it'd be
71.
2,
2,
2,
2,
5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
gotcha.
Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yeah, no problem. So yep. So like they said, any repeated value, you write it that many times. So we have 2 80s, got 82, 83, 84, 88, 88, and then 89. Mm-hmm. Then for 90, 91, 92, and 93. Then for 100, we just have 100. Oh, 101 twice. And then the last one is 112. All right, so before I talk more about that, I see a thumbs up. That's all right. Is everybody good with that? Everybody good with what we did? I see dedication in this classroom. Somebody in their car and stuff. Okay.
Soccer practice, sorry.
No, I get it. I love it. So
That's a dedicated mom right there. I respect that. Go ahead,
right,
girl.
most definitely, most definitely.
Oh, you wanted to hear dedication? I've been up since 2:30 this morning. I just got off shift too. So
Oh wow.
Girl, I started at 3. And now full-time working in school. So
More power to both of you, because I can't get up to save my life. I just that's a whole nother story. But so yeah, so what you may ask is, why would we do something like this? So in statistics, it's always about well, I know you heard the phrase numbers never lie, but part of that statement is also numbers can mislead though. So you do have to be careful with statistics. That's why you can't really get in an uproar about stats that you may hear, whether it be political or whatever the case may be, because people who really know how to work statistics and work graphs and work information, they can take those same numbers and make it say the complete opposite. So why would we use something like this? Well, you would use something like this if you have you do research on your audience, and you know you have an audience that like numbers, and that will be more appealing to them. That will be more intriguing to them. If you had an audience that like that's more prone to colors and pictures, you would use a bar graph, because that's all this is another form of a bar graph. But it's all about really trying to appeal to your audience and try to kind of sway them your way. Just like we're going to get into outliers, you know, you'll get to that in your definitions and stuff. We're going to be using them, and outliers could occur. So they're going to tell you that if you outliers occur because they were your observations, run your data or run your test with the outliers and then run it without them. If it fits your argument to keep your outliers, then keep them. If it doesn't, leave them out. So basically what you could say, if somebody were to ask, you know, you give them the data, they say, hey, what about these values right here? They're outliers. And you can say, yeah, I kept them though, because they were actually observations. All right. Then if you give people information, but you left the outliers out, people say, well, what about these two values? Aren't they outliers? Aren't they a part of your data set? You can say yes, but they're not normal because they are outliers. And then that means, you know, so you have a reason to keep them in or leave them out if you want to. So that's what I mean by, you know, people can use data information and manipulate it whatever way they like in order to, like I said, sway people, you know, in their arguments, in their favor when it comes to their arguments. So I always want to be careful with that. And so we're going to, you know, learn a little bit of inner workings of statistics as we go throughout the course. Yep. So I think that was pretty much it as far as just touching on a few things, like I said, that people have asked about in the past. When you get into your definitions, if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to ask. So don't forget, we are looking at right now, you have chapter 1. Oh, that's not a 1. Chapter 1 and 2 definitions. And then you have chapter 1 and 2 math lab homework. So that's what you have. Now you have all of your homework, you know, out there, but as far as what I'm, you know, expecting you to get in there and start trying to work on, that should be your focus right now, your goal is to knock out these definitions and then get into the homework. All of the homeworks aren't created equal. So you saw like the first assignment only had 3 problems up there, and then the next one had 10. So it's not like it's a whole bunch of stuff there to do. But you know, like I always keep saying, while the homework is light, take advantage of it. You know, knock it out so that you don't have to worry about it later on. So any questions or concerns before we close out? Because y'all got stuff to do. I ain't got to keep holding y'all here. Everybody good. Somebody got some kids in soccer they got to go pick up and all that.
Thank you. It's all about homework.
I was about to say, I appreciate this. Thank you, Professor.
Okay, yeah. And if ever I'm letting y'all down as y'all instructor by not holding y'all long enough, please let me know, and I'll make sure that I.
Nope, you're doing great.
I think
How can I find the math lab homework?
I think we can agree we're all adults, and we agree to not disagree with you.
And look,
Can I take a snapshot before we leave of that number set? Can you slide down a little bit? Can I take a snapshot of that?
Tell me where to stop.
So I can, to the blue.
Right here. You want me to do it
Yes,
like that?
that data set. I just want to capture that.
Okay.
Thank you.
How can I find the math lab homework?
Okay. So let's go back to. So once you get into Math Lab, your shell. If you click, let me go. Yeah, main menu. When you click on assignments right here, and that's where all of your homework will be. All right. So everybody cool on that? Everybody straight?
Okay, thank you.
Yep, not a problem. All right. Anybody else before we close out? All right, I'm here for y'all. I want everybody to get an A. So, but I can't look if they do audit on my course. I got to see some work there, so I can't do the work for you or just give out A's. I got kids to feed. I know y'all heard them run around at one point. So.
I was about to ask, is that like a cartoon out here in the back or something?
Yeah,
That was his baby. That was his baby.
So when you know.
Oh no, I heard like some singing going on in the beginning, and I was like,
I just try to ignore it, and I hope that you guys can't hear as we progress throughout the lecture.
Now, question: if we're able to move along without the lesson and get the work done, is that okay as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, take advantage of the light time. Because if it's light to you, then that means it's light to you, and keep on rolling. I most definitely encourage it. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
And it's the best email is the one that you sent through the Google Mail for you.
vtucker@tcc.edu.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's the best one that you probably look at the most.
Yep.
Okay.
vtucker@tcc.edu.
All right.
resend in all like our I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. All of our we show all of our work by emailing it to you, right?
Yeah. Now, I don't need to see any work unless it's for a test. So as far as homework and stuff, you don't have to do that every time you submit a homework. But and then most of your tests, especially for this type of class, you might not have much work to show anyway, because we're going to be using technology, to crunch the numbers or whatever the case may be. So it's really about more so application than it is calculation. So you may not have much work to show. I just have that generic statement down there so that if there is work, then you will send it to me. So, but you might not have much to show. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody else? Everybody good? Everybody straight? Once again, if a question pop up that you forgot to ask, feel free to shoot me that email, and we'll make sure you're good. All right. Looks like everybody see head nodding. Everybody all right? Okay. Like I said, y'all know what y'all got to do. Knock it out, man, and let's lay it, man. Let's everybody get an A, and we're going on to the next thing. You guys have a good one. Be safe.
Hold on 1 second, Mr.
Amen. God bless.
All right. Somebody said, hold on. So if you're done, then I'll see you later. But I have somebody ask me to hold on, so I'll go ahead and make sure she's straight.
Have a great night.
Okay.
Thanks,
Good
y'all.
night.
Take care.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker.
No problem. Take care. All
That
right.
homework, I know it's the definitions for 1 and 2, but for the section part of it, we're doing all the homework in my math lab for the sections 1 and 2, right? All of that homework?
Yeah. So you have 4 sections in chapter 1 right here, and then 5 sections in chapter
Okay.
2. Yeah. And like I
Okay, all right,
said,
thank you.
yep. And like I said, all of them aren't long. Like I said, that first section was just three problems. So, it may not be much in each section like that.
Okay, I'm just trying to follow it because I like the way you had the class design because I tried to do the other math class, the quantitative reasoning. I mean, whatever the one before was, and it just didn't work for me. So I'll just make sure I had the organization right.
Okay, yeah, sure. Not a problem. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. Take care.
You too.
All right. Anybody else have a question?
Do you only teach statistics?
No, I teach it all. I go from developmental math up to Calc 3 and everything in between. No.
All right, cool. So I'm just gonna look for your classes from now on.
Oh, okay. Oh, you have some more math to take?
I'm going into nursing, so more
Gotcha.
than likely, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I think you may have to take 154. Let me see. Is there another? Do you have to do 161? I don't know, but you can let me know if you have any questions about anything. Yeah.
What is 161?
That's pre-calc 1. I think I'm not sure. I'm not sure about y'all. I see somebody shaking their head no. Miss Sharp, are you telling me no? Or you just shaking your head no? Oh, she was just.
I'm just shaking it.
I thought you.
I'm listening because I'm going into nursing too, so it's some good information.
She's like, nah, I don't wanna. No, girl. Just wait for med math. Med math is not gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think 154. I'm not sure. I can see if I can find out, but I know you can find out too as well. But yeah. But if you have any questions on anything that I'm teaching, just feel free to ask and I'll let you know.
Yeah. By the way, the car is not the baddest idea because my car comes with massaging chairs. So.
Oh wow.
So it works great.
Right. Now don't get too relaxed. Next thing you know, you sleep. Now we looking at you.
No, I'm normally up until about midnight and then I get up at 2:30 to go to work. I'm an EMT, so it's
wow.
It's great.
Well, more power to you. Anybody else? Anybody else? Any other questions? All right, you do the same. Take care.
Yeah, I got one question.
Yes.
So by like September 3rd, you said so the chapter 1 and 2 definitions plus all the section 1 and 2 homework, right?
Well, that would be the best practice as far as the homework is concerned, because you do want to knock it out as soon as possible because next week we'll start talking about chapter 3's content. So you don't want to have chapter 1 and chapter 2 lingering around if it doesn't have to be. But there's no real penalty if you don't get chapter 3, chapter 1, 2's math lab work done because I didn't really put a due date up there. I said it's all the way in December. So if I was just talking about the definitions, get that into me by next Friday so that we can get that out the way. But the homework though is really more flexible. And like I said, but if I were you, I would be trying to get it done out of here because like I said, we get chapter 3 next thing we're in chapter 5. You'd be like, hold up. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And then also for the access code, I know like I purchased the code and everything, like one of these little things. And then there was like that new one, and then there was something about a refund. So do you have to do the refund before you put in the new access code that you gave us?
So let me make sure I got your story straight. So you purchased the code through Barnes & Noble, the access code through Barnes & Noble. And
I haven't scratched this off yet, but I don't know if this was like the same one as, which I don't think it is, obviously, because you gave us a different one. But I don't think it's different, or it might be different than that one. But then in the email, it says something about a refund. So I didn't know if you did that after or before.
Oh, no, the refund is for someone who's already used the code.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so once you've already used the code, then instead of them, and it was like, if you purchased it through Pearson and you already used the code, because they did everything electronically, they was just getting their money back electronically and then they'd be able to do it. So you should be good if you haven't used the code already. You can just go ahead and use it for this new course ID that I have.
Okay, good. Okay. And then your email, I already saw it, like pretty much just has right instructions of how to get in there and then just put in that new code, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay.
All right.
Makes sense.
Anybody else? Everybody good? All right. Take care. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.